Hey everybody, and welcome straight to the Point Tennis in our 3-minute racket review series. Today we're going to be taking a look at the head Youtek Speed IG 300, which is the mid-plus 16x19 version. So just want to give you guys a little context here. I did use this frame for my most successful competitive years playing collegiate tennis, so there will be a lot of bias layered in here, so just take that into consideration. Starting with the groundies, I give it a 9.2 out of 10. I think this frame and its beam design, which eventually became the Gravity Pro, is super unique because it has that lollipop shape, but it's not like the extreme lollipop shape where it's too much spin and power. This is a really thin beam, so it allows for you to feel like there's a great combination of string bed real estate, but also feel, touch, and just a balanced hitting experience. Onto the net play, I'd give it an 8.3 out of 10. I think out of the box, it is a little bit anemic, but it is super easy to maneuver. You can really feel like you're set up super early for various volley types. You can dig out a low one at your feet, get it up quickly to hit a swinging volley. In general, it's a very versatile frame at the net. Moving on to serving, this is definitely the standout feature of the Youtek Speed IG. In my opinion, I think it's one of the best serving frames I've ever used because there's a great combination of access to flat power, but also a lot of access to spin based on the geometry of the frame, which again, the lollipop design allows you to take big cuts of spin, either with slice or kick, and then you feel like there's a controlled response in the upper hoop that still has a fair degree of power. Moving on to the power section, I'd give it like an 8 out of 10. For such a thin beam frame, it is fairly powerful and definitely can hold its own in the modern game. Next to our control section, another standout feature here, I give it an 8.7 out of 10. Despite it being a 16x19 and 100 square inches, it's just incredibly controlled. It reminds me of some of the old Radical oversized frames or Prince original graphite oversize. Next to spin, I'd also give this a high mark of like an 8.5 out of 10. I think the 16x19 pattern here has a unique spacing in that it's pretty tight in the center, but outside of it, it has more open spacing. Next to stability, I think this is an area where it doesn't really excel. I give it like an 8 out of 10 out of the box. It's fairly stable because it has such a big head size, about 100 square inches, but it's lacking a little bit of that weight in the upper hoop. Next to our comfort section, this Youtek IG layup in the speed is one of my favorites. It's super comfortable, and candidly, when I switched to this, I was having issues with my arm, my elbow, and switching to this nearly solved all of that. It's got a 59 RA and a super thin beam of 19 millimeters, so it does feel really comfortable on contact, really comfortable swinging it through the air. One of my favorite frames in terms of comfort. Next to our flex profile section, I'd give this a lower yoke flex. That thin beam really does flex closer to the top of the handle than anywhere else and snap through contact. To our touch and responsiveness, I give it an 8.5 out of 10. The thin beam and the predictable string bed make for a really nice balanced experience when it comes to hitting touch shots. Next to our will it lead category, I definitely think this will work. I think it's more friendly for the average player than the Gravity Pro, which it shares a mold with, mainly because of the 16x19 string pattern. Lastly, to our cosmetic section, I give it a 9 out of 10. This is by far my favorite speed paint job. I think it's very timeless, classic, and elegant. Thanks everybody for tuning in this racket review. See you in the next one.